Do you know what happens when American Farmer puts out their biggest DLC yet? Well, you get the Hay DLC. First, let's start with the devlog. Devlog basically starts with tons of bug fixes, crop optimization, auto-loading of bales onto trailers. On top of that, performance upgrades. This is massively performance. Oh my lord, they've done an amazing job with that. Add bale selling. Now you can sell your bales, so you can now be a bale seller. Cattle feed price did increase. Hay price increase. Beef price increase. 9 new pieces of equipment for the Hay DLC. A seed tender / fertilizer tender. We'll look at that here in a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these equipment, and we're also going to teach y'all how to use the new Hay DLC to the proper manner. I want to skip over the entire Hay DLC. I want to go immediately to the seed and fertilizer tender. This, in my opinion, was the #1 requested thing for this game. Alongside of bales, the seed and fertilizer tender was up there for me. I bug Grant for this thing forever, and just to have this makes this game 10 times better. Because I really like having the option to come over here and grab your seed and fertilizer tender. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the statistics of the new seed and fertilizer tender. The new seed tender does cost $40,000 and it holds 24,000 pounds. And in my opinion, it is worth every dollar. So we'll go ahead and immediately take it over here and to look and see what kind of options we have at filling it. So we'll go ahead and pull it immediately right here. We'll go ahead and hit that. So you can load it with seed, you can load it with urea and NPK. So we'll load it with P and K. Now this is a question I do have. Does it load it both sides? Yeah, they do load both sides. Okay, I can live with that. Now I do have another question, and that is, can we load one of these things with it? So this right here basically works just like the cattle feed does. I like that personally. It gives you a lot more availability to moving around whichever way you want it to look. Oh, and it actually tells you how many pounds you put into it. That's actually really nice. I do like that a lot. So okay, this does work the way you would expect it to work. You can put fertilizer or seed. Be sure to use this, because guys, I don't know about y'all, I see myself all the time worried about putting seed in my harvesters or just putting seed inside of my planters when they're far away. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the actual Hay DLC itself. We're going to go through a fast running of everything that's in the Hay DLC, just so you know what you are getting into. This trailer right here is the small hay rack. It does hold the smallest bales that they do produce. This DLC does produce 3 different sizes of bales. You have your little square bales, your large round bales, and then on top of that, you have your large square bales. Those are your 3 that you do produce there in this. I don't know exactly how many it does, but it does go like 4 or 5 high, and it goes all the way throughout. I've gotten this thing completely loaded down at one point, so yes. And it only costs $5,000 to your pocket. Next on that is the Case IH SB541. This little baler right here has a requirement of 85 horsepower, goes 10 miles an hour in the field, has each bale come out at 60 pounds. On top of that, with a $35,000 price tag, this is the perfect baler to get started with your operation today. In total, I do recommend pairing this up with the hay rack trailer, so save up $40,000 to buy both these at the same time. Moving on to the hay rack. This rake right here is very special. It actually does have the sounds came from Spencer TV's rake in real life. I really like that. It's just cool. I love how they integrated some of their stuff from real life, and this is cool to me. And then last but least, this right here is the Case DC rear mower. This right here has a requirement of 100 horsepower, goes 10 miles an hour, and a $45,000 price tag, and this is mandatory to have to be able to start doing hay. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, before you buy all that stuff, please make sure you do have your grass planted. And this Case IH Drake Cedar right here, you do need it to be able to start, or you could go with the big one, whichever one your pocket can afford better. I do recommend you doing it at least. But in total for everything, you should only need $124,000 to get started in the Hay DLC today. Start producing your own bales, and it's a lot of fun to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is part of this that is underneath the lock and key. It is a lot of the bigger equipment. Now, I will say this, I do not personally remember how much this DLC was. I believe it was $6.99 is what I believe. If I am wrong, I'm sorry. It's probably cheaper than that, but I want to say it was around the $6.99 price range. It's a lot you get in this DLC. There's no doubt about it. They put a lot of hard work and a lot of time modeling, doing all this stuff for this, so just do keep that in mind. Immediately getting it started, you have a Case IH RB565 round baler, has an 85 horsepower requirement, goes 10 miles an hour out in the field. Bales come out at 1,200 pounds and a $95,000 price tag attached to it. Now, this baler right here, in my opinion, is the prime baler. This is the one I want to deal with the most. I love it, what it does. Then moving up to the big kahuna, you got the Case IH LB436 HD. You have the biggest square baler that you could possibly get in the game. Has a 250 horsepower requirement, goes 10 miles hours out in the field, has a 1,500 pound bale size and a $255,000 price tag. This thing is basically your Heston baler. That's pretty much what HD stands for. Like, this is your biggest, baddest baler you could ask for. Now, this is my favorite one right here, the H&S TF Merger. This right here has a 95 horsepower requirement, goes 14 miles an hour in the field, and then it has a $90,000 price tag. This is the best windrower that you could ask for. I've played with this a lot. I'd rather this one over the other one. I don't know why. Now, this next one comes in two parts. You have the Case WD2505, which has a 400 horsepower that holds 300 gallons of diesel, goes 25 miles an hour with a price tag of $185,000. Now, this right here is the part of a two-price setup. This is basically your mower. This is the biggest mower you can get. I love it. The AI works perfectly with this. Now, I will mention this. AI may not work as perfectly with the rear mowers. It's going to work a lot like your forage harvester does. It's hard to code stuff to go right, and I completely understand why it misses from time to time, but it's really good. They really dialed it in my opinion, and it misses as little as it possibly can. Now on to the second part, the Case RD165. Now this is the header to that, which has an 85 horsepower requirement. Everything hooks up very simply to each other, and you don't really have to worry about it. Now there is another little piece that goes to this as well, which is your pull forage harvester grass. Basically, you pull this along just like you do your forage harvester, and you pick up the grass as silage. Has a 120 horsepower requirement, goes 6 miles an hour with a $30,000 price tag. Now that we've kind of got that out of the way, let's kind of show off some of this equipment. Now I will say this, you kind of have to move very smoothly with this. You can't just jerk it. You want to use it as smooth as you possibly can. One wrong turn in the wrong way, you will end up turning this thing too quickly. There we go, we got her hooked up there. Alrighty, so we bought as much seed as we possibly can. Now we're just going to kind of come over here, and we'll just simply move it on over here and hit that button right there. We want to load as much seed as we can in here and go ahead and start planting this field. Now, of course, you don't want to just instantly start planting the field. Please make sure you have the little grass icon up at the top selected. Yep, we are planting. So just please make sure you have your grass icon up top selected, and make sure that you go ahead and start on its rows. I forgot I was going the wrong direction with it. It'll just simply turn around and do the rows correctly. Look at the actual grass itself. This is pretty well done for a grass type that's just been added to the game. And for the people who are wondering, American Farming is doing the best they can. Like, I'm really surprised on how fast they're rolling out new things to the game. A little bit over 6 months is all it took them to add a brand new crop type to the game. That is flipping amazing. I don't care who you are. So I'm gonna let this go ahead right now and plant. I'll bring you guys back once we go ahead and get it fully grown. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we have it ready to rock and roll. So this is unlike anything we've ever seen in American farming, the actual hay physics. So you cannot like go and mow like this hay over this grass. It all has to be planted grass that you have to mow. On top of that, fertilizers and stuff like that do nothing. This grass does regrow. It's a one-time plant crop, and as long as you want it in your field, just leave it out there. It'll keep regrowing, and eventually you'll have yourself 30 cuts. So we're going to kind of set this right here and watch this thing work. It is doing a great job in my opinion. Now, this does work just like you would expect any other machines to work. It goes pretty simple. So I'm going to kind of teach y'all the basics for some of these equipment. And I'm not going to go through and basically teach all of y'all each and every little piece of equipment, how it does work. So I'm going to give you kind of the basics of how this does work, what it does, and how may this affect what you do. So all we're going to do is simply lower that right there. Now, this is one thing I do like about this a lot. You can actually change what direction it throws it out on. So if you want to throw it all one direction, go for it. No, all right, if I want to, you can switch it the other direction. And basically, you can do it like this. Kind of push your thing into one massive row. I don't recommend this. I recommend doing it the actual way. I do recommend highly to hire a worker to do this so he can get you perfect rows, or as perfect as he can get, honestly. But I'm just doing this real fast so I can show you the demonstration. They work pretty simple. The only thing I don't know what's for is that the second button there, the one that flips back and forth. I don't know what that's for. Realistically, there's a good chance I will never know what that's for. Oh wait, yes I do. It's all folded up. Never mind. It's folded up. My bad. Alrighty. Now, do I want the Heston baler? Yeah, I want the Heston. There we go. We'll go ahead and start picking it up. Now, these are humongous bales, so it does take a long time to go ahead and we got a full bale. And just like that, we have a huge Heston bale right here. This is ginormous. I love the textures they did to this. Words are unable to say what are basically going on here. The fact that we have baling in this game so quickly without there having to be a whole new game for it is incredible to me. All right, so I do know I read some auto load. It does say auto loading. I'm gonna test this because I'm not 100% sure if it does work or not. We're just gonna drive near it with this trailer, see if it does auto load onto the trailer itself to make it easier for you guys. If it doesn't, oh well. Honestly, I wouldn't expect it to with it being bales like this, but hey. Oh, okay, so it does actually. Okay, that's amazing. So it does auto load. So it does mean actual auto loading onto the trailer, and you will actually receive a bale on the back of your trailer auto loaded. Wow. So buy basically everything you need is a trailer, the baler, the mower, and then of course the windrower. That's all you need. Now to kind of finish everything off, we got to go ahead and start with this right here. This is of course the hay forge mower. Or the hay forge picker upper. I don't know what the best name for this is. Leave a comment down below if you know what the best name to call this. It's basically the forager for just the grass version. So this does help you out. It does let you do more with your grass, and also it's honestly cheaper. So for the people who don't realize it, if you go ahead and just buy this right here, plant one thing of grass, that you don't have to pay for seed again. All you gotta do is just keep reharvesting your grass. So we'll lower that. And it works just like the baler does. You just simply go over it with it lowered, and you are collecting now chaff, which you put into your harvester to become silage, aka cattle feed, and it allows you to do that. I'm not really going to stay on to this one too long, but one thing I am going to do is I'm going to take this one bale, and I want to go see how much money you get for this bale. So you get $150 per bale. So you can make a lot of money with this. You just got to do a lot of bales, a lot of grass fields, and you can make some serious money. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? If y'all want to see me start with the bare minimum hay equipment and start my own hay business in American Farm, leave a comment down below. Leave everything down below y'all think we should do with this new hay DLC that just came out. Y'all have any questions? I'll be down there trying to comment on them the best I can, answering all y'all's lovely questions. But hey, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for loving us. We are showing me and my entire family here. Thank you to American Farmer for going ahead and putting out this update. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.